Hello, my name is Courtney, and today I'm going to teach a lesson. Let me pull up my screen sharing real fast so we can get started. Okay, I'm going to go to PowerPoint, and okay, now we're ready. Let me go back to the beginning real quick. Okay, now we're at the beginning. Today's lesson is going to be over algebraic reasoning, graphing, and connections with geometry. Okay, so first we're going to do some graphing. I'm going to do one graph at a time. The first graph is going to be the amount of gas in a gas tank when a driver refills the tank on a drive across the country. So here's our y-axis is the amount of gas in the gas tank, and the x-axis is distance traveled. So we're going to start here. The gas tank is about half full, and he's starting his route, and he's going to travel, and his gas tank's going to empty. He's going to fill up his gas tank again and continue traveling, and his gas tank is slowly going to empty until he's at his destination. Next, for B, we're going to do the height of an elevator stopping at each floor on the way up. So here's the y-axis is the number of floors, and then the x-axis is the length of the elevator stops. So on the x-axis, we're going to put floor 1, and then we're going to travel up and stop at floor 2, travel up and stop at floor 3, travel up, stop at floor 4, travel up, and floor 5. That's how you would do that one. C is the height of a ball bouncing when dropped from a table. So we're going to do the ball at the highest when it first stops because it has its greatest momentum. The ball is going to gradually bounce until it reaches its lowest momentum right here. And again, we have x-axis, the length the ball traveled, then y-axis, the height the ball bounced. And you can see how that gradually declined. Graph D is the shadow of a flagpole as the throughout a sunny day. So we're going to do x-axis, the position of the sun, and the y-axis, the shadow of the flag. So we're going to start right here when it's the beginning of the day and the shadow's at its highest. And then as the day goes about midday, the sun's going to be at its lowest. And then as the sun is setting, the shadow's going to be casting on the other side and going back up to its original position. Okay. Question number 2 is is putting input for the formula and receiving the answer. So they're asking us to do an inverse of f of x. So they have f of x is equal to 3 times x, and g of x is x plus 8. So here I made the equation. I put the 2 right here. 3 times x and 8 plus x. So then we're going to write our equation, and it's g of f of x. So we're going to get, for number 1, we're substituting 0 for x. So we're going to have 3 times 0 plus 8, and we're going to get 8. And then for b, we're substituting 1. So we're going to have 3 times 1 plus 8 is 11. And then we're substituting 2. So 3 times 2 plus 8 equals 14. And then for d, we are substituting 3. So we're going to have 3 times 3 plus 8. And we're going to get 17. That's all you have to do. Oops, sorry. I'm not sure why this is not. This sentence right here is not supposed to be on here. I guess it copied from the last slide. But that's just how you do that. Question number 3. We are show and explain the slope of a line segment and determine by the given pairs of the points. And we'll tell whether the segment is vertical, horizontal, the slope's upward, or to the right. And we have P is, the point is at 3, 1. So first I graph that. Here's the graph for points A. And I have, you can see, the x-axis is right here, so we're going to graph 3 on the x-axis, and the y-axis right here, so we're going to graph 1, because x is always first and y is always second. So right here is 3 to 1, and then we're going to graph 5 and 5 right here. Then we're going to connect the two, make a line with 2 arrows, and the slope is, it's y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1, and we're going to get 4 over 2, which is going to make our slope 2, and the graph is horizontal, and the slope is going upward. B, we have points 5 and 8 and 5 and -8. So we're going to graph those two. Remember, first point is on the x-axis, so we have 5, -5, and 8 and -8. Okay, and then we're going to put the y2, y1 minus those, we get 16. x2 minus x1, we get 0. And since there's a 0 on bottom, we're going to have, there's no solution. Sorry. And the graph is vertical. And then we have C, which here's our points, -1 and -4, -4 and 13. So again, we're gonna put our x first. So -4 and 13, then -1 and 4. Connect those 2 points, and our slope is going upward, and it is horizontal. So we're gonna do it again. y2 minus y1 equals -9. X2 minus x1, we're gonna get -3. Then we get 3 for our slope. Okay. Question 4. We are graphing the following functions and describing the similarities and differences in the relationship of the graphs. So first we have the function of y equals x2. And I put in, you can put in what points you want as long as they're kind of corresponding. And I just started with 0 in the middle. And I put 0 in for x, and I got 0. And then I put -1 times 2, and I got 1. -2 times 2, 4. -1 times 2, well, not times, but it's -1 times 1. This kind of looks right here like it's being multiplied, but it's not being multiplied. It's to the power of. So 2 times the power of 2 is 4. And I graph those. You'd start with the x. So the x is the first point. Since we started with -2, it's going to be, sorry, make it my thing. So -2 to 4, and then -1 to 1, 0, 1 to 1, and 2 to 4. And I label our little graph right here, that's x to the 2. Then we're going to do the same thing with x to the power of 2 plus 7. And the graph rises because it's plus 7. So I put in the same numbers, -2 to the power of 2 plus 7, and again plus -1, 0, 1, and 2. So I plotted those points, and you can either, since you could, you could tell it's the same function, you're just doing plus 7. So our first graph is just moving up 7 points. And then I did the same thing again. I put in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. To the power of 2, take -7. I got these numbers right here. -3, -6, -7, -6, and -3. So what I did is I graphed it. -2 to the third, -3, -1 to -6, 0 to -7, 1 to -6 and 2 to -3. And that relates to our other two graphs because we have right here to the power of 2. And since it's -7 to the same function, we're going to move down -7 points. Same graph, just move down -7. And then we have same graph, up 7. Okay, next question is show and explain the equation of a line through the given points that is perpendicular to the given line. So we're going to start with our first line. It's going to be y equals -3 to 4x plus 5. And then we have the points 6 and -1. So our slope is -3 to the 4. So our perpendicular slope is 4 to the 3 because we're going to inverse this. So equals 1 or -1. So we're going to flop it 4 over 3 and take away the negative. So then we take our y point and we put it at the y equals right here. And it equals to, we put our slope right here because we have the slope formula down here. As you can see, it's y equals mx plus b. M equals the slope. So here we have the y, -1. Then we have our slope. And then we're putting in 6 for x because 6 is the x, and then plus b. So we're trying to figure out the b. So -1 equals 8 because 4 over 3 multiplied by 6 is 8 plus b. And then we're going to subtract the 8 from this side to this side. So we're going to get -9 equals b. So our perpendicular line is y equals our slope, x, minus 9. Okay, and then our next equation is you have to add an extra step because see the y is not y equals. So we're going to move this over here. So we just have a y on the left side. So we have 2y plus 9x equals 5 because we added the 5 to the right-hand side. And then we have 2y equals 5 minus 9x because we subtracted 9x from the left side on both sides. So now we have 5 minus 9x to the right side. And then we're going to divide this side, the right side, by 2. So we have y equals 5 over 2 minus 9 over 2x. And our slope is right here, the m. So we have m equals 9 over 2. Our perpendicular slope is 3 equals -2 over 9 because we flipped that, so it equals 1. And then we have our 3, you see, is our y, and our x is 0, plus b. And then again, we're going to figure out what b is. And 0 multiplied by -2 is 9 is 0. So we're just going to keep our 3 because 3 minus 0 is b. And our perpendicular line is y equals our slope, -2 over 9x plus 3. Question number 6 is show and explain the equation of the line that is tangent to the circle of a radius 9 at 0, -9 in the center of the origin. So we have our center of our origin is 0, 0. And we have our circle goes to the radius of 0, -9. And I just did these on the same circle. And B, I just did the same thing, 0 to 9. So here's B and here's A. And the tangent is always, a tangent means it's barely touching the outside of the circle. So I'll put this tangent at 0, -9. And I put B, the tangent is at 0, 9. And I compared the two lines because this is one's at -9 and this one's at 9. So this is 9 up from the origin, so 0, 0, 9 away. Oops, sorry. Let me figure it out real quick. Okay, I go back to question 6. Sorry about that. And we have a tangent line at 0, 9, a tangent line at 0, -9. This tangent just means it's barely touching the outside of the circle. And that is our 6 questions. Thank you.